My dad, I've always remembered him as somewhat the smartest man in the room, but distant. He was always either gone in the streets or doing some other random deal or just drinking, partying, but he really wasn't at home with me. I think he was a man who was more caught up with himself than anybody else around him. He went to England for the first time when I was 8. My thought was he was going on a vacation again. He just never returned. So there wasn't any sense of closure. There wasn't any sense of, okay, he's gone. He just left. Right after he left, I was molested by the living helper. This woman was there. She was 16, 17. I was just turning 10. And I was molested for a while. And that created a rift in my mind because I thought he was supposed to protect me. So not only did he turn his back on me, he left me home to be abused for about 3 months. After that, we didn't really talk for like years on end, where I would go a couple of years without him calling me. Personally, I hated him. I hated him like full out hatred. I wanted nothing to do with him. I didn't want to be anything like him. And I started to come to men's fraternity. It was at 6 a.m. on a Tuesday morning. And in men's fraternity, I got to know Pastor Carter and I got to know the other guys. He was sharing his experience with his father and how he has his father wound and what he was going through to do it, to address it, and what he's been through and how it helped him. And he told me I need to write a letter to my father. So I decided I was going to try it. I wrote a letter to my father. It talked about how I felt when he left me, how I felt when I was abused. I just tried to share that with him. And at the end of the letter, I wrote, I forgive you and I love you. Now I have no clue how I wrote that because I still didn't think that I had forgiven him. And I said, if you want a relationship, I'm open to it. But I sealed the letter, sent it off, didn't expect to hear back from him. He actually never responded by a letter. He called me actually, crying and trying to talk to me and say, he's so sorry that I got molested. He's so sorry that, I felt that way towards him. And he loved me. And when I heard those words, I love you, it just messed me up, man. As a little kid who always wanted to hear that from his father, and I always looked up to his father, to hear that finally. I haven't seen him in 18 years at that time. I really didn't know what I was going to do. So I kept on praying and asking God to help me. And then eventually I decided I was going to try to make the first step and go over there and try to see him. And the best feeling I felt was looking at him and seeing him walk up to me. I felt love in my heart. I don't know how that felt, man. That's just... Man. To hate somebody your whole life and to see him for the first time in 18 years and to feel love in your heart. That's Jesus right there, man. Who else but Jesus? For me to hate somebody my whole life, most of my life, even when I was there, I hated him. And to feel love in your heart the first time you see him. Forgiveness is not for that person. Forgiveness is for nobody but you, and that's what I realized. The time that I forgave my father is the time that I started to heal.